Hi and welcome to the show. I'm Nancy Guppy, coming to you from Seattle's Fremont neighborhood, also known as the center of the universe. Now, I'm not real sure about that claim, but there is no doubt that Fremont has so much to offer, including a world-class chocolate factory. Yeah! We've got a great lineup for you, including an interview with renowned actor Tom Skerritt, music from Enumclaw, the band, and a movie minute with Matt Lynch. We'll begin with a beautiful collaboration between two extraordinary artists, Jill Smith and Kristen Nelson.
My name is Jill Smith, and I'm an artist, and I'm best known for being a lighting designer. I make lampshades.
I'm Kristen Nelson, and I'm the owner of Cree Studio. I call myself a ceramic artist, and I make things out of clay.
I've been admiring Kristen Nelson for years. Her things to me are magical. They're like precious, petite, they're the perfect burst of color. I've always loved her things. I should. I'm sure Kristen knows. I don't remember how we met exactly.
Actually, I do remember how we met. We were doing a show in someone's house in Laurelhurst, and I think some of the people had done it before and they were all real chummy, and Jill and I were newcomers, and so we sort of had a little solidarity in that. And we found out that our studios were only 2 blocks away from each other. And I remember her coming over to my studio one evening, and it was the winter, it was dark, and she was all bundled up, and she came in and she was looking around, and I think she was the one who probably said, or we thought of it simultaneously, these would be great shapes for lamp bases. So that's how it started. I said, yes, let's try it.
I went to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, and I have a beautiful fine art education. I was given all the time in the world to explore and learn and be around amazing people doing great stuff, and I really feel like that is one of the most valuable things that I own. I learned to see when I was there. Because if you can see, if you can think, you can do everything.
I thought I was going to be a textile artist. My grandma did things from cloth, and I was always sewing and making things. And then at the University of Washington, I took a class to fill some hours where I couldn't get a class, and it was a ceramic class. And after that, I just completely flipped. What I like about clay is you can just go at it and you can make something, and if it's wrong, you can fix it. You can squish it up again, you can cut something off and score it and stick something else back on. So I really like the possibilities.
When I make a lampshade, I start out with a wire frame and armature. Then I use a Japanese paper called kinwashi, and it gets made over 4 layers. Each layer is wet and fragile, and then it dries, tightens up like a drum. And in the end, what you have is a luminous shell. Then once I have the white work done, whatever the pattern is, I cut it out of paper and then use little blued tape and kind of pin it on and then gently glue it, and that's how that comes to be. There's a lot of steps in a shade. There's a lot of NPR in a shade.
When I'm making a lamp, the first step is to create a shape. So I hand form by pinching, I create a shape, and then I make a plaster mold from that. The lamps get slip cast, and then they get trimmed, they get painted with an underglaze, and then my signature trademark is thin white lines that are slightly raised, and I apply those by squeezing slip out of a little tube and applying those to the lamp. The lamp gets fired, and then it comes out, and then the lamp gets glazed, and then the lamp comes out, and then I have to wire it.
I think a lot of what Kristen and I have going on is we both make our objects with love and care. We both love color, like deeply resonates with us. And I tend to be more flamboyant, and she's a little more calm, simple, perfect, lovely. And so when they get together, one doesn't overpower the other.
The way Jill and I work together is very spontaneous, and it's not controlling in any way. And usually we're each working on our own stuff. We kind of talk about what color vein we might be working in, sort of, and then go, let's meet on Thursday and see what we have that might work good together. You have so many today.
It's always more fun when we have more. This is one that I'm excited about.
Oh, that's precious. I love it.
Is it too big?
I think if it was higher, it would work.
There are times when Kristen and I get the lamps and the shades together, we adjust the harps and the finials, and sometimes the result is like music. It's like a sculpture, you know, like something, you've hit it. Yes, that's the way to do it.
Add a little height. Verticality, you know, with those vertical stripes.
Actually, yeah.
I just like to go on making them forever. I really like it. And I love working with Jill. And as long as she's living 2 blocks away, I think it's going to work.
Learn more about Jill at insatiablestudios.com. And Kristen's company, Cree Cree Ceramics, can be found on Etsy. The resume of actor and producer Tom Skerritt runs deep. His 50-plus year career includes over 100 TV roles, most notably as the Emmy Award-winning Sheriff Brock in the CBS series Picket Fences, as well as meaty parts in dozens of feature films such as Steel Magnolias, Top Gun, and Alien. Now in his 80s, Tom has created one of his most compelling characters to date, the widowed and terminally ill Ben Givens in the S.J. Shiro directed film East of the Mountains, based on the book by David Guterson.
Well, lovely to see you, Mr. Skerritt, and congratulations on the movie.
Thank you, Nancy. It's a pleasure to see you again. I met you a number of years ago, very briefly.
So in the opening scene of the film, we see your character, Ben Givens, making plans to end his life, very serious stuff. So what initially drew you to this role?
I like the introversion. There's a lot of people up here who tend to be somewhat withdrawn socially. Come on. I tend to be that way, but I'm conflicted because I also have made a living as an actor. So you have to be upfront. I could identify with the character in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. What you go through in life, or the things that you think you want to do and are going to do at a certain point. And suddenly, in this case, here's a heart surgeon who no longer does that, who's probably been doing it 40, 45 years, and is now retired. And now maybe he and his wife are going to go to Alaska on a boat trip. She dies. My daughter's going through a divorce. And now I'm being told that I don't have long to live because I have cancer. That's something you really have to process, particularly a guy who's really contained his emotions for a long, long time. He's trained to do that.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, it's just a bad back. I'm okay.
The film is clearly about aging, loss of control, death. And I know that when you shot the film, you were, I think, around 85. So you did draw. It sounds like you drew on your own personal life experience to create and fill out this character.
Acting is all that. You can't really act because ultimately you don't. If you're acting, you look like you're acting. And I just gave that one up a long, long time ago.
Okay, here we go.
There's a lot of hiking over rugged territory. There's physical violence.
Get off! Your dog was gonna rip my dog's throat out.
So I'm curious how you prepared yourself for such a physical role.
Prepare myself for one day at a time, quite honestly, Nancy. And this is not about making a movie anymore, or never was really. It was, it's always, my mentors were directors, Robert Altman, Hal Ashby, Ridley Scott, Tony Scott. These were the guys I learned more information than I could just trying to be an actor. Acting is everything we experience. Do anything creative. It's all these people we meet, all this territory that we live here, the trees, the water. All of this is what brings us to do anything creatively well. And to prepare as an actor, no, I don't know what that is. I really don't know what that means, honestly.
Well, the film runs about an hour and a half. You're in pretty much every scene, and you speak, Tom, a total of 1,160 words. I counted them, every word. There's the number right there. And it was quite stunning to me. That's not a lot of dialogue. So I'm actually curious if you can talk a little bit about creating a character out of what isn't said, what is not said.
That's interesting you asked that, because it puts me in line with something that the great English actor said once when he was asked, you bring people to a point where on a stage in a performance, you bring people to a point where they're going to cry, and how do you get them to cry? And he says, this is Laurence Olivier, by the way. He says, well, you just don't, and they will cry for you. It's what you don't, it's the less is more thing that really makes acting effective.
When you come back, we're gonna have a serious talk.
A serious talk.
Yes. About you coming to live with us. You know, if you have to start treatment.
If. I haven't heard back from the doctors at all, so it doesn't make sense to talk about anything.
Doesn't make sense.
No.
You know that's what you say when you just don't want to talk about something, right?
Well, I just don't want to talk about it.
I know. Just like you don't want to talk about Mom.
Well, you're an executive producer on the film. You've been a major supporter of the Northwest film community for decades. And East of the Mountains has a lot of local talent behind the camera. Director Este Shiro, producer Jane Charles, cinematographer Sebastian Scanduzzi did gorgeous work. Talk about, was it important to shoot locally and to employ local people?
Oh, absolutely. That was one of the things in the conversation when David was talking to me, when we were talking about this in the future, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever it was absolutely shoot it here, and to be able to do all of this written here, done here, have women who live here doing this was my ideal, and it was David's ideal, and we succeeded.
Well, Tom, I so appreciate you giving us your time to talk about the film. It's really a beautiful piece of work. You've had an amazing career, and congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very fortunate. I appreciate you. Talking to you. It's nice to see you.
Good. Good to see you too. Take care.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
East of the Mountains can be seen in select theaters and is available as a download from your favorite online platforms. Our musical guest this week is Enumclaw, self-described as, quote, the best band since Oasis. These guys are super funny with a great sound. Now this song is called Free Drop Billy from their demo EP, Jimbo.
It feels so good to
Jimbo is available in record stores and as a download. Also, Enumclaw plays The Crocodile on Sunday, November 7th. Ticket information is at enumclaw.online.
Hi, I'm Matt Lynch from Scarecrow, and this is your Movie Minute. Today I'm going to talk to you about a movie called Twister's Revenge. It's from 1988. It's directed by a guy named Bill Rebane, who was a Wisconsin native who specialized in sort of DIY, low-budget genre movies.
I got him. I got the keys, Kelly.
It's about these three rednecks who kidnap a woman who designed a monster truck that has an artificial intelligence in it that they hope to trick into using it to do crimes for them.
Good job. I'm 3 minutes behind you now. Don't lose them.
This is an incredibly ridiculous movie. It's basically like a live-action Hanna-Barbera cartoon, and it's for anyone who's a big fan of monster trucks just pancaking everything in sight, and who isn't? All right, you can find Twister's Revenge right here in our staff pick section right now. It's even got my name on it. I'm Matt Lynch, and that was your Movie Minute.
Finally, the Seattle Queer Film Festival opens in person and virtually on October 14th, and the opening night film is Potato Dreams of America, written and directed by Wes Hurley and shot and edited by ArtZone's very own Vincent Pierce. The festival runs through October 24th, and ticket and pass information is at $3billcinema.org. And that's a wrap from Fremont. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great week. We'll see you soon. And now, the real show begins. Yeah. Okay, so this is a new one for me. These little cookie bites. It's like chocolate and mint. That's insanely good. Why not 3? I mean, seriously. That's great. Okay. Well, lunar pie. Gosh, I've never had marshmallow and chocolate before. God, I gotta try it. Oh, and it's like chocolate marshmallow. This is so good. Oh my God. You guys want a bite?
No thanks.
Your loss. My gain.